All right. Once again, it's another real talk. Shout out to my playback watchers. Shout out to my shadow watchers. Well, I can't say that because this is a pre-recorded. But if you're in the clouds watching, much love. Everybody in the chat as well. This is a pre-record once again. But it's gonna be a quick one. We definitely gonna get on the rack. So be aware. Be on the lookout Sunday. This Sunday. Be on the lookout. I might have a link in the description. So check this description box up under here. I'm gonna have that set up. So make sure you hit the reminder button on it, and make sure you hit the like button as well. But today we're gonna get into this Lil Nas X situation. And I really don't touch on shit like this when it comes to these motherfucking celebrities. But I got to on this one. Because this shit is very fucking sick. And we got a co-host today, which is BV. Welcome to the panel, BV.
Thank you for having me.
All righty. And we kind of share the same thoughts and interests on this as well. And, I look at these comments and see a lot of people cheerleading this shit on. And this really right here is very disturbing. Rappers that came off my days, they wasn't, sending those signals off like this. We had rappers that were gay. Yes, we did. Like Dell, the Homo sapien. He didn't come on with no dress. He didn't put on no lipstick. The only thing he had was goddamn a nose ring. He was a good freestyler. He was an okay rapper. But he stayed in his lane. He had a crowd and he played his lane. He didn't come off, you know what I'm saying, in his videos kissing another man. He wasn't rubbing their back. He wasn't walking around in no prison scene, you know what I'm saying, smacking dudes on their ass. None of that. He got on, he spit his freestyle, and he talked about himself, and he talked about a lifestyle a little bit, but he also was for the culture. Now, hip-hop doesn't really promote the original hip-hop. Let me say that. Didn't really promote and aim everything towards homosexuality. It never did. If that's what you was, that's what you was. People either fuck with you or they didn't. But with this dude right here, it seems like they keep pushing this dude to the forefront. Like he's the biggest thing smoking. Like he's the new MC Hammer or something. BB, tell me what you feel about, them, tell everybody how you feel about them pushing this guy to the forefront.
So my thing about Lil Nas X is that he was almost like a backdoor, like a Trojan horse, if you will.
Right.
I feel like he was promoted, like even my children, of course, we all know, everybody with a child knows Old Town Road. That was a huge song, and it was
Good
really
song.
marketed. It was a cute little song, very friendly, very child friendly, enjoyable, lighthearted. And then it's like, so he, became very popular behind that. And then for him to pivot in such for it to happen and become such a sharp pivot for him to turn from Old Town Road to he came out as being gay, which is like, that's fine. You're gay, that's fine. You make good music, you make, child friendly music, culturally neutral music, that's okay. It's pop culture, it's pop music. That was cool. But then for him to come behind that with the last song he did with the video, um, and it was kind of sexually ritualistic.
Yeah.
It was
I
sexually
think I think
deviant.
that's yeah, I think that stage on the BT Awards, that right there.
Yeah, yeah.
That
And
man,
it promotes. And I'm not going to say, okay, people have their proclivities, and that's fine. However, just like WAP, it's no different. Some of that stuff is being forced and promoted. Children have access to this. And people always say, oh, well,
exactly.
parents should monitor. And absolutely, parents should. We do have the responsibility of monitoring what our children are exposed
But
to.
how can you
However,
sit here and monitor something that's
you
coming
cannot
on
monitor
regular
everything.
right? You can't monitor everything, then it's coming on regular TV.
Regular TV. It's showing up in the social media feed. So even if
Right.
you monitor your children's, like even with YouTube, some things don't come through the filter. Like some things are not automatically filtered. It's a bot. And so
Exactly.
if they, subvert it and go through that filter, your child is still exposed to it. Also, your child has friends whose parents may not be as um conscientious about what their children are exposed to. So you just don't know what your children are seeing and being programmed with on a day-to-day basis. They're being inundated and bombarded by these images because the brain receives things and learns things through
Exactly.
images.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. We all have learned from seeing other things and other people, do things. Uh Another thing I wanted to touch up on is how this dude was brought about, just like you were saying, and he was promoted real heavy. It's like, well, damn, this dude never had a mixtape. And when you get artists like that, they really are prop. They call prop artists / one hit wonders. And we had a lot of groups that was like that. All for One. I don't know if you remember that group, do you? It was a trio
I
group.
vaguely remember them.
It was a trio group with a black dude. What no, like
Yeah.
two or three black dudes and two white guys. They was kind of
Yeah.
the the uh the uh the suburban version of Shy, the group Shy.
Yes.
I
Okay.
ran into them
Yeah,
guys, and
I
I'll
can
never
see that.
forget this. I ran into them guys at the mall. I would never forget this. And I was looking, I'm like, damn, that dude look like, you know what I'm saying? You kind of looking. And the short dude was like, yeah, look, see, he looking. And then the white dude, the big white dude was like, yes. I'm like, what the fuck? Come to find out, he's gay.
Oh Lord.
Right. That's well, I mean, but when you see him on TV singing and all that, you don't think
You
about
have
nothing
no
like that.
idea. And you don't
Right. You have
care.
no idea. You're
You
right.
don't
You don't
care.
care. I was like, oh, okay. You know, but what I'm saying, like I said, just say to that to say, because they know it's hard to really break, a known gay person unless that gay person is really liking they got a record that's already running, like Elton
Right.
John, you know, that's something different. He came up at a different time, also he's backed up, what I'm saying, by the blacks as well.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But when you get artists like this, and especially with this dude, it seems like he's doing any and everything that he's been told to do. Or if he's thinking of this and he's bringing this to them, it's like, wow, really? So all these, just like you were saying, is it going to be to a point where the younger generation think they're going to have to be gay just to get a record deal? Do you think it's going to go that way?
I think not only is it going to have to be, you're going to have to be gay for black artists. Let me say that. I think for black artists, it might be. And honestly and truthfully, it's because um, it's a power play. It's a power dynamic. And so the problem with that is what I see is that black males in the industry are not allowed to be gay and black male at the same time. Like you can't be a masculine gay
Right.
man because your gayness or your sexual preference has nothing to do with how you carry yourself. And I know RuPaul, like you mentioned, Elton John, these are throwbacks. RuPaul used to say when I was growing up, he was like, when I'm on stage, and I'm in drag, it's a costume, it's
Right.
performative. And he
Exactly.
said, when I step off of that stage, I'm still a man. And that's why I
Right.
always wear suits, because I'm still a man. I'm still, and so there is the nuance of gender identity and
Mm-hmm.
sexual identity. And I get that.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody should be allowed to express themselves in terms of their gender identity and their sexual identity. However, when you're blurring the lines and you're doing it for controversy and clout, that becomes a problem because children don't have the capacity to understand the difference. And he's
Right.
blurring those lines for children. He's young,
Yeah.
and he's young enough to be relatable to children, and they don't understand um, what he's doing. They don't understand that there's something greater
Right.
that's behind him doing
Exactly.
this.
Yeah, and what you saying that's gonna make them think they could date men and women at the same time.
And it's clout. Everything nowadays um, is for clout. And so the more attention you get, the more clout you have. And so for most children and people in this generation, your social capital, your social media influence or impact is like money. It is a way
Yeah.
to monetize. You can monetize anything based on your social media and your social media presence. And so Nas X could, make a song a year, but because he does things like this and he gets the clicks and attention, people are
Mm-hmm.
going to, follow him, and he makes more money. The more money he makes, the more power he has, or perceived power, because he doesn't have the power. He's not the one behind this.
Right. Yeah, he is contracted. Yeah, that's for sure. He is
Yes.
contracted.
I.e. owned, because contract means that you're in a slave relationship.
And as I can see on the screen, I'm gonna pull up his here it is, right here. This right here to the left. Let me make sure I got it up. Yeah, I got it. To your left, this is talent manager. To the right, that's the agent. So both basically both of these guys work together on whatever he does. That's who the paychecks come to first before he
Right.
gets his cut. That's who calls him up and tell him that he has to go here. That's what he has to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They make all the
You gotta go
decisions
this.
for him.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
They tell him, no, that's not a smart move. No, don't post nothing today. Don't say nothing today. Don't respond back to nobody.
Right.
They gonna let him know what to do. Everything from A to Z. When I see this, let me go back to it. When I seen this picture right here, I was like, wow, really? I had to go comment under this dude's shit. I didn't call him no faggot or nothing like that, the F word. I just like really, all these kids are looking at you, they seeing this, and it's the way you think is appropriate, and you sit here want to talk about, oh, I'm giving birth to my album. It's many other ways you could display that you're giving birth to your album. I would prefer this nigga looking
Absolutely.
in the goddamn cradle with his actual CD in the motherfucker, something like that. You know, but sit here portray like he's a female and he has an actual baby in his stomach. Which I know this is ain't not real, but even still, this is what he's portraying, like he's an actual female. And like I said, when kids growing up, they're gonna feel it's fine to be able to sleep with both genders. And this right here is not a good look, not a cool look, and definitely not acceptable. Gays that was, what I'm saying, coming up in our time, they wasn't doing all this shit right here. You know, they did them and they stayed in their own lane, they stayed in their own neck of the woods, and it was respected. Just, what I'm saying, for that. They wasn't going all out, what I'm saying, to pressure people. Oh, look at me. It's, now these days, it seems like that's what it's going to be about in a hot second. They're going to be battling each other, see who got the tightest dresses on their motherfucking album cover. I can see that right now. You got Young Thug doing this. It's like, wow. And he's not gay. But it's like, damn, what do they draw the line at?
It's a concerted the effort of a feminization of the black male, because the black male will always be deemed as the epitome of of masculinity. And if I may, real quick, I want to read a quote from Dr. Frances Cress
Yeah,
Welsing
yeah,
from
go
her
ahead. I love to hear
book, The
that.
ISIS Papers. And so she stated, this is two passages. She said, the very dynamic that produces a pathological situation wherein children attempt to have and rear children is designed to ensure black functional inferiority. She went to state black children will suffer in terms of their development and will be impaired in their potential to function effectively under the stress of racism. I refer to the failure to ensure the maximal development of the genetic potential of all Black children, as well as the ultimate waste of this genetic potential as Black genocide. Furthermore, she states, there was no concern for these human beings reaching maximal levels of their genetic potential. This lack of concern for the development of these young human beings was enforced by racist slave masters and slave mistresses. Today, just as in the slave society, Black teenage girls are caught up in a similar destructive dynamic, producing human beings who subsequently are subjected to low level development and treated in inhuman ways. And so, what I interpret these statements to make is that because of the way that Black people have been reared and conditioned in
Hmm.
this society, um, the parenting is dysfunctional oftentimes, of course.
Right.
And so because we
It's
have
like I said, systematic. You know what I'm saying? The system plays a role in that, a
systematically,
big one. Right.
absolutely. And so because you have women who absolutely have been conditioned to hate men because our men have been prevented from protecting us.
Right.
They have been prevented from rearing their own sons and raising them. And
Yep.
because people love to blame Black men for being absent and being disconnected. And I'm not saying that we and they are not without fault. We are not without fault. However, the system plays a huge role in this. And not
Yes.
only that, so we raise boys, that we resent Black women. Not all, of course, but many of us have resentment toward our fathers. We have resentment toward male figures in our life, and we also have been absent of male figures. And so it's very difficult for women and even some men because they have those same resentments and they never had an example oftentimes. And so if you don't have that example, it's almost impossible to raise whole and healthy children, Black males
Right.
in particular. I'm a mother of three
Exactly.
Black sons. So it is very important to me to be able to raise whole and healthy Black men in this society, despite all the challenges that come with that. But if you have parents who are dysfunctional, who have no concept of what they're dealing with, they don't understand the entities that are around them and the barriers that are in place, put in place to prevent um, them raising whole and healthy Black male children into Black men, you're going to end up with little Nas X's. And it's not about being gay. It's about being used as a pawn and a puppet in this society.
Right.
You're placating a white racist system who really does not want a Black male to be a Black. They don't want a Black male to grow up and become a Black
A strong,
man,
right. A
a
strong black
strong
man.
Black
Exactly.
male.
Exactly. This is very true. That's why when I heard other people on her arguing, get back and forth, the men and the women, just not the women, just not the men. It's both. It's like, damn, yeah, I don't see how this systematically affects, you know what I'm saying, the whole dynamic in a relationship.
They don't, because you know what, we're Black women, and not all of us but many of us have been taught, oh well, we're stronger, we're this and we're that. We've gotten a battery in our back. They've wound us up like the little monkey with the symbols. And so we have been more empowered, but it's only empowerment, because empowerment
Hold
would
on, you boy got a little bit.
we would be
You boy got a little bit.
empowerment true. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you good.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So true empowerment means fully functional wholeness. So it's the holistic approach of raising a Black family. It's the holistic approach of raising a Black son. And you know, Black fathers absolutely matter and they are absolutely important. And so when you've been taught to be at odds with the partner who's supposed to help you raise a fully functional child, you end up with this dysfunctional dynamic of women who hate men and men who
Yeah.
hate themselves.
Yep.
And they also hate women. And so instead of, you know, fixing it, they either take on the identity of a woman or
Mm-hmm.
or become very submissive to the system and to white men. And then
Mm-hmm.
they can also become, gay and take on that form. They become the bottom, if you
Right.
will.
Now what you saying that I want everybody to take a look. Just sit back and look at how some of these content creators and some of these subbies, you know what I'm saying, on how they act, how they move, the things they do, the things they feel that's cool. Just sit back and take a look. You know what I'm saying? Because there has to be a balance. There has to be. But you see, you know what I'm saying, one content creator, you see how he goes off like a female. It's like, God damn. You know, well, where do you what bruh? It's like when you talk to other men, when men talk to men, we talk in a certain way, whether it's hood, whether it's, you know what I'm saying, like, actual gentlemen, but we don't talk to each other like women, yelling and screaming, want to have a last word. Men come to a middle ground with each other. We don't go back and forth with each other. That's something men don't do, you know. And you're gonna have, at least as you can see, you're gonna have, guys like this on the screen. They're gonna be, what I'm saying, going back and forth with each other, like, what I'm saying, women. And that's why they feel it's cool and fine to dress like women. Look at this. Dude got on a whole goddamn skirt. From the top half, he looked like a man. Bottom half, he looked like a woman.
Carrying a purse and
Right.
allowing himself to be feminized effectively. It is a war, and not just black masculinity, honestly and truthfully, across the board there is a war on masculinity, but there's also a war on human autonomy right now. And people are so unaware. Instead of just saying, okay, well, let's let people be who they are and let them have their own peace, there's been a promotion of it. Because, okay, while people who are gay and maybe non-binary or non-gender identified, they should be able to exist in peace, absolutely, but there should not be a promotion of it. And so what we see a large um, proliferation of people, children, who are allowed to be non-binary. You see the promotion and a lot of celebrities who popularize cross-dressing their children, almost forcing their children
Yeah.
to be something. Like, I have a cousin who I'm very close with who is transgender. However, it was never promoted. No one ever said, don't do this, don't be who you are. But it was never like, okay, well, they never even know, the parents never pushed okay, I'm a little feminine, I'm a little effeminate, as a boy, whatever. I'm into Barbies, I'm whatever. But no one ever said, okay, well, you identify as a girl, so let's dress you up in a dress at 6 years
Right.
old. Let them
Right.
grow up and figure it
And
out
make that yeah, right.
themselves.
Exactly.
Support them, absolutely. Support them, absolutely. Don't shame and beat it out of them and do this conversion therapy shit, which causes more trauma. You don't want to
Yeah.
traumatize someone, but you also, it may be a phase. Children are always developing. They don't have the brain capacity to make a fully informed decision. You cannot tell a child that because at 6 or 7 years old, I mean, hell, at 6 or 7 years old, I wanted to be My Little Pony. So should my mother have attached a damn rainbow tail and a mane to my head and let me, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are children. Children do children things. As you're grown and you fully form and develop and your prefrontal cortex develops, then you allow them and you support them to do what they feel is best. However, this is the promotion of things, and like I said, Lil Nas X probably doesn't have a large audience of people who are over 30. I know of who he is because of my children. So if my children introduce me to him, I can guarantee you that they have seen this and they have been exposed to this. And this
Right.
is also a cause for dysmorphia. So a lot of people who are trans, or they have what is called body or gender dysmorphia. And so what I was told by a very close source of mine is that to be pregnant or to feel like they're pregnant or want to be pregnant should cause some sort of dysmorphia mentally. It should. And it would make those who are looking at them, who may be also in the same space or also to share the same identity, they may also become experience dysmorphia because it's not a natural biological function. And so it is, I don't want to say weird because I don't want to mean it in a demeaning way or disrespectful manner or dismissive. However, it is unnatural for a
Yeah.
male born person to be carrying a child in utero,
Right.
and even like I said, my cousin stated that she has a friend who was born female, identifies as a male, and became pregnant, and that experience caused dysmorphia for her because in her mind, or his mind, excuse me, born female, identifies as male, it created dysmorphia because it's like I identify and I see myself as a man. It is not unlike the bulimic or the anorexic who sees themselves as fat. No one else can see it, but they see it. That's how they see it on the inside. It's their
Hmm.
perception.
Yeah, I mean that's right with there. What you just touched up on, it really goes deep. It really does. Uh, Especially with this agenda right here. And I ain't gonna touch too much on it, but I can see it to a point where this human cloning is going to definitely play a part. Where men are going to your nurse corner clinic, nurse corner clinic, and deciding to get pregnant. I can see that in the future. Seriously, I can seriously see that. They're going to the nurse clinic at the
Absolutely.
corner.
And that's what we're moving toward.
Right.
Yes.
It's like, the woman ain't gonna be
And making
needed,
it
and the woman gonna
acceptable.
feel like the man ain't gonna be needed. It's like, wow. What was that you said?
I said totally, and I fully agree with that. And also, not just it's like it's a disruption of the family dynamic, period, and
Right.
particularly the black family dynamic. I don't need, it's always been the I don't need no man, I don't need this, I don't need that. And so, if you don't need a man to get pregnant, I mean, we see this in, with surrogacy and
Hmm.
artificial insemination, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you really want a child, I don't judge a woman for that. However, to disrupt the family structure and say, well, now you don't need anybody. Anybody can have a uterine transplant and
Right.
carry a baby,
Hmm.
either gender, is something that is abnormal and obstructive to the human dynamic. That's how we're created. We are created to need each other. It is balance.
Right. Right. Exactly.
It's the universal. It's the disruption of the universal laws.
Exactly. Well, we're gonna go close this zone out. I did, like I said, I did want to touch up on this. BV, I appreciate you coming up as well. People, you know, like we said, we know you can't monitor what your kids see and what they hear on his box and his tablets and iPhones and gadgets. But I want to put this. I would say buy some DVDs that are very child friendly because from what I'm seeing, you got Batman and Robin gay, you got the Teletubbies gay, the list goes on. The Smurfs, they about to be gay. Wonder Woman, I think they talking about she's gay. It's like, oh, all these characters are gay now. Really? It's like the whole agenda is just flipping it. I mean, flipping from head to toe. Things ain't the same no more. And I never seen a gay agenda push like this. Seriously, never. With that being said, everybody stay up, and I catch you next time.
Thanks for having me on.
All right.
Peace.
Shout out to our sponsor. Make sure you tune in for Talking Shit, and also make sure you